When you think about your own financial situation, do you feel a lot of stress? Do you feel like you're under pressure? Do you feel like debts are weighing you down and becoming a source of conflict and stress and fatigue mentally and emotionally in your life? You don't have to live that way. You don't. You can have God's peace. You can have blessing when it comes to the area of your finances. But you've got to learn to practice some biblical principles. My life is so much better because of the truths and principles that I was taught as a young person, and then even during my years as a young adult. Things that have helped me in my family and in my marriage to have more stability financially and have God's blessing upon my life. And I'm so thankful for that. Beginning in February of 2021, I'm going to teach a series of lessons called Financial Management God's Way. These lessons were written by Tom Copland, who is an accountant in the city of Markham. He's a man of wisdom. I've watched some videos, I've gotten his material, and I'm excited about the opportunity to teach this. He has what are called financial moments, where he teaches people, godly attitudes towards money and managing money from a biblical perspective, doing it wisely in God's way and so on. He's on television now across Canada, has some things on the radio as well, and just a man of great wisdom when it comes to finances. And I'm excited about being able to teach these lessons. Tom Copland has been teaching since 1982 on biblical finances in churches and so on. He also, again, runs an accounting firm that helps businesses and so on. He's also, along with a network of people, a team of people, willing to offer free financial counseling and advice. And that can be a great help to people that need to understand things about estate planning and how to get out of debt and so on. And I would encourage folks to come to their pastor, or if for some reason at times you're not comfortable, go to a man like Tom Copland and some of his team of coaches that can give good financial advice and get that help in your life. Tom Copland teaches how to manage your finances based on biblical principles. God's Word has a lot to say about money, and I think that together we'll learn a lot as we study this series of lessons. It's going to begin in February of 2021, and I want to encourage you to participate. I'm going to be teaching these lessons in person if our church is meeting again. But regardless, we will be recording these if it's in person, or we'll be live streaming it, and we'll be showing them on Sundays. Sunday afternoons or evenings. We'll let you know the details as it gets closer to that time. But I want to encourage folks from our church, and even folks from York Region in Toronto, I would like to encourage you to watch these lessons about financial management, because I believe it can help to bring so much more peace into your life and stability into your life, your financial situation, and it can bring a lot of help to your marriage and your relationships when you don't have that stress of financial worries and concerns and so on. We need to learn to do things God's way, because God's way is always the best way. If you want to participate with us in this biblical financial study about financial management God's way, I really want to encourage you to buy the Participants Workbook. I believe you'll get a whole lot more out of this series of lessons if you'll put more of yourself into it. And making the investment in purchasing the workbook and then committing yourself to watching the weekly lessons and so on will be a great help to you. Now, there's more to it than that. There are some case studies that are involved with each lesson in the series. And those are things that I would encourage you to be reading and thinking about and even searching the scriptures about from week to week. And you could do that ahead of time before I even teach the lessons. You could be looking at those case studies that give some real life scenarios. They give us situations to consider about maybe a certain family or a certain lady and what they're going through financially in their life. And then it allows us to learn some principles relating to each situation. And I think that will help every one of us on a very practical level. Now, how can you get the Participants Workbook? Well, you're going to be able to get it from Tom Copland's website called Copeland Financial Ministries. So let me show you now how you can purchase the Participants Workbook for the course Financial Management God's Way. You're going to want to go on your computer and open up, whatever web browser you use, and then type in there Copeland Financial Ministries. And on my computer here, you see it's already starting to come up, but we'll type that in, Copeland Financial Ministries. Now you see a few things here. There is a BibleFinance.org. That is actually their old website. They have started a new website. So we'll go down here to this one and we'll click on CopelandFinancialMinistries.org. CopelandFinancialMinistries.org. And then you want to go over here to the section that says Shop. We'll click on that. You can scroll down the page a little bit. Now, as I was mentioning, there's right here, you can order a PDF copy of the workbook. That's only $14 right now. If I click on that, I could add it to the cart and go in and make the payment. $14, and then you'll be able to download a PDF copy of the workbook that you would have to print for yourself. I'll view the cart, and we can see that. So there it is, and you could check out and pay, different ways. Now let me go back to the shop again and show you the other option. I'll scroll down here. The other one that you would want to look for is, if you want to get a hard copy of the book, is Financial Management God's Way, the Participants Workbook. Not necessarily the Leader's Guide. You want the Participants Workbook. That's over here. That's currently $40 Canadian. So we'll click on that, and you can add that to the cart, view the cart, and so on. And it shows that they're charging $10 for shipping at the moment. And so that would be your way to be able to purchase this workbook, Financial Management God's Way. And let me encourage you to do that right away. We're going to begin this series of lessons at the beginning of February 2021. And so we want you to have the workbook and be able to participate with us in the case studies and have a place where you can write notes and so on as we go through the lessons together online each week. I hope this is a help to you. I want to encourage as many people as possible to participate, tell others about it, and I hope that together we can all be really helped in managing money God's way so that our lives can be better. Our lives can be more blessed. We've got to follow God's principles to have His blessings on our life. And I believe this will help you immensely in having greater peace in your life, having greater contentment in your life, having an ability to figure out how can I get out of debt and how can I do some things that I'd like to be able to do for my family, but also be able to do some things for the Lord that I'd like to do. Sometimes people can't afford to give, they think. They can't afford to do some things for the Lord's work that they would like to do because they've got so much debt problems. And it hinders them in even being able to do things for the Lord that they'd like to do. So there's so many helps to this. Please don't think I'm only going to teach this because we want you to help the church. I believe that you will be a greater help to the Lord's work if you learn biblical financial principles, but it'll also help you. It'll help your family. It'll help your marriage. It'll help you to be more stable in life and be better off in so many ways if you will just learn how to manage money God's way. So I hope that you'll purchase this workbook and plan to participate with us in a very important series of Bible studies. God bless you.